Okay, this video is about slip stitch edges, also called a chain edge, or it can be called an open slip stitch edge. I'm going to show you a couple different ways of making them. First, let me tell you what it would look like if you do not slip the first stitch. If you don't slip the first stitch or do anything special, like in this case with this garter stitch, you're going to wind up with all these little bumps on the ends. Now, they can be pretty and they can be useful, but sometimes you don't want all those bumps. You want something that looks a little smoother and neater. I'm going to show you two different samples of of looks that you can have for your slip stitch edge, and three different ways of getting there. Now, the pink and the yellow produce the exact same looking twisted chain on the edges. They're exactly the same. The blue one produces what's called an open slip stitch edge, in which the chain is not twisted. In my opinion, the blue tends to be a little bit looser. The yellow has, in my opinion, a tightly knit stitch because it's already twisted, so I don't like that. The one in pink is my favorite. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to do them. I'll show you each one. Okay, here's my little directions here. Slip the first stitch knitwise and purl the last. Okay, so to slip a stitch knitwise, all you do is put your yarn in the back, position it like you're going to knit. You take your needle and you insert it like you're going to knit, except you don't actually knit the yarn through it. You just slip the stitch from the left needle onto the right needle, and you've now slipped the first stitch knitwise. Then all you do to create this lovely edge is work your pattern all the way to the last stitch, which in this case is going to be knitting all the way across, and then I'm going to purl the last stitch of every row. So you just purl it like normal. And if you do that for every row, slip the first stitch knitwise and purl the last stitch for every row, you will have that twisted looking chain edge that lies nice and flat. Okay, the next one produces, like I said, the same exact effect as the pink. Same edge, except you just do it slightly differently. This time, instead of slipping the first stitch knitwise and purling the last, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to slip the first stitch purlwise and knit the last. So to slip a stitch purlwise, you move your yarn to the front like you would if you were purling, insert your needle as if you're going to purl, but instead of working the yarn, you just slip that stitch from the left needle to the right needle. Then I'll move my yarn back to the back because I'm going to knit across. So you work your pattern all the way to the end. Like I said, produces the same exact thing. The only thing that I don't like about this one is that the last stitch, you knit it, and it's a twisted stitch. It's already twisted on the needle, so when you knit it, it's kind of tight, and a couple times when I was doing it, I actually wound up flinging the whole thing off the needle because it was just kind of tight. But if you prefer, you can slip the first one purlwise and knit the last, and you're going to get the same exact look as both this pink one and this yellow, like that. And they look the same from the front too. Okay, now to do this open one, which in my opinion is, I don't like it as much. It's looser. I don't know if you can see how loose the stitches look on the edge. Now, mind you, I did use a larger needle with this one than I did with the other ones because I only have so many needle sizes. So anyway, I'll show you how to work this one, and this is going to be, you're going to slip the first one purlwise, but instead of just knitting into the back loop at the last stitch, you're going to knit the last stitch through the back loop. Okay. So you're going to put your yarn in front like you're going to purl, insert your needle like you're going to purl because you're slipping the first one purlwise, and then you just slide that down and slip it off the left needle and onto your right needle. Then I'll position my yarn to the back again because I'm going to knit across for my pattern. So knit across, and then the last stitch gets knit through the back loop. Often, it's always abbreviated KTBL. Okay, so I'm now at the last stitch, and instead of inserting my needle from the left like you normally would, like that, I'm going to insert my needle into the back loop. which basically means you're going through the center of the hole from right to left, because you're going to work it through the back loop. That's called knitting through the back loop. And then you just yarn over like usual and pull your loop through. And that's how you create that open end for the blue. And that's how you knit slip stitches. If you want more information on all of the different experiments that I did with this, you can check out my blog at detroitknitter.blogspot.com. Bye.